Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really happy to be here tonight. I'm happy that you've all come out to listen to me. In the very first speech I gave in Subang Jaya a couple of days ago, I had about 5 minutes, because we had to make sure that Datuk Sri Wan Azizah could go to a next function in time. So tonight, they told me I can speak for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to take my time. Yeah, I'm still exhausted from last night's dialogue. I think I must have answered like 8 questions and it took about 1.5 hours. And my throat is about to give way, but I'll try my best tonight. My name is Wong Chen. My surname is Wong. Chen is also another popular surname I know. Unfortunately, due to some mix-up, I have only 2 names lah. I'm 45 years old. I'm 45 years old, born in Asunta Hospital, PJ. So I'm a Selangorian. But at the age of 1.5, close to 2, my family moved to Kota Baru, and that's where I grew up as a child, as a Kelantanese Chinese. Just now when I was just trying to meet some of our supporters here and shake hands with people, I bumped into a couple of Chinese Kelantanese and they say, hi, I'm from Kelantan as well. Ya, oi Kelantan? Oi Kelantan? Ada? Ada Kelantan sini, mana ni? Ada Okey, bagus. Kelantan ni kita suka makan budu. Suka makan air pecik. I think there are a couple of good Kelantanese restaurants in Taipan if I'm right. Correct? Okay. So, just I think tonight I'm not going to talk about policy. Okay? That one you can ask me tomorrow in my dialogue. Tonight I'm just going to try and explain to you a bit about my personality, my experience, the values that I share, the values that I want to bring to Subang Jaya and Kelana Jaya as a whole. And I want to talk a bit about my experience joining PKR in 2009. But first, before we get started about me, I just have one message tonight, and this message is to our dear friends Barisan Nasional, UMNO and MCA. BN and MCA, your time has come. Correct? Your time has come. Your time has come to leave Putrajaya. This election is about bringing back democracy. It's about getting democracy back and giving it back to the people. Yeah. So those cronies, those who abuse the power, those have been taking everything that we built as a nation, destroying those values that we share. Your time has come. So let's get rid of them. Okay, brief introduction. As you know, I grew up in Kota Baru. At the age of 12, I was sent to a boarding school in Singapore. It's a privileged boarding school, I know. It's called the United World College of Southeast Asia, and it's there that I learned that I'm actually a banana, if you like to say the word. My teachers were all English people and some international people and all that, and I hardly speak any Mandarin. Yeah, and as a result, I made a concerted effort in my early days to do surprisingly French in my first year. But in the second year, I decided no, I better be a Malaysian. So I took up Malay, and I took Malay for the next 6 years, and I did Malay literature in my 6th and 7th year, the final years of my high school. And in Malay literature, you learn about the heart and soul of a nation. And this is the greatest course that I took. I have to do 6 subjects. You go to UWC, you have to do the International Baccalaureate, and you have got to do 6 subjects instead of standard 3 for A levels. And they offered this thing called Malay literature, and I loved it. I love literature. I read a lot. I did English literature as well, but it's the Malay literature that really hooked me in and got me thinking about what it means to be a Malaysian. We are Chinese, we're Chinese Malaysians, and how does it all fit into this society that we live in? I remember reading about Osman Awang, Ranjau Sepanjang Jalan, the classic Malay novel. Yeah, Ranjau Sepanjang Jalan, the story of a farmer that has been brought on by bad luck. He was his rice crop completely failed. Eventually he suffered and he died. And this was essentially, I thought it was a parable about how a nation could die. The story of the farmer is equivalent to the story of how Malaysia which grew in 1957, gained independence, slowly lost hope as materialism took place in the 80s. And that specific novel linked me back to what it means to be Malaysian and what it means to be a Malaysian in the Malay environment. Yeah? And from there I went to Warwick University to study law. I did law and then I came back to Malaysia, and I decided that I would go and practice law in Kota Baru, my hometown, so to speak. And I spent about 4 years in Kota Baru, 4 to 5 years. Had a good time, I went snorkeling, diving, Pulau Pentian was next door, so it was about half an hour away. I had a good, easy life, I suppose. And I took a lot of time to try and do a bit of legal aid for the poor. Kelantan is extremely poor. Yeah, Kelantanis are difficult. I mean, that is why Kelantanis are all over Malaysia, especially in KL. There are lots of Kelantanis because we can't eke a proper living in Kelantan. So I moved to KL in '95. Yeah, during the stock market boom, and I've settled here since then. It's almost 20 years now. And what happened was I joined a law firm and became a corporate lawyer. Not something to be proud about, but it's something that I enjoy doing. And over time, I learned what it means to be a corporate lawyer, how you have to know the stock market, of course, how to negotiate with people, how to maintain egos of your clients, because all these are CEOs or CFOs who need your experience and your advice. And in addition to everything else, over time, I saw how corporate Malaysia was unfolding. And unfolding in a nasty way that I never imagined as a corporate lawyer that I could do this for long. Yeah, we saw the first IPP deals coming in at that time. We saw how the stock market ramped up, and then came the big crash of '97, and then '98. In '98, I realized at a point in '98, but it took me quite a long time to actually do anything about it. In '98, I realized that we cannot continue in this kind of model, and that the cronyism, the political patronage, the deals that were being done across the board, everywhere, in KL, yeah, involving government contracts, some of them involving private contracts, where cronies were just doing things to the market and not being charged for anything. If you want to say in a way. Okay. 98, big year in my life, I thought this is it. And that was the year when Anwar Ibrahim was also knocked out as the Deputy Prime Minister, and that was the age of reformasi. I remember very well, it was very surreal. I wasn't on the streets, I admit to that. Yeah? I was actually negotiating a deal for a client, and we could see the whole Dataran Merdeka going crazy. People running down the street being chased by riot police and so forth. And at that point, I just stood up. I just went up for a while, and then we looked at it, and then we thought, this is something great that is happening. This is where the market cannot take any more of this political patronage, and that something needs to be done. Yeah. But I stayed on as a corporate lawyer. I stayed on corporate lawyer, resolved some issues to make sure that we could survive through the financial crisis, and then eventually, by luck or by chance, in 2009. I was engaged as a lawyer, paid as a lawyer, to go and advise Pakatan Rakyat. I was asked to advise Pakatan Rakyat on how to form their constitution, write the minutes of the meeting, talk to all the top leaders, and advise them what is the best way to apply to ROS. And I did the filing form and all those, and went to see ROS a couple of times. Obviously, I'm probably, my client paid me the money, but I'm sad to report that until today we cannot get the ROS approval for Pakatan Rakyat. So partly responsible for that. But as a result of the whole experience, what happened was they brought me in. Yeah, Datuk Saifuddin, the Secretary General, told me, look, Wong Chen, why don't you work for us? Yeah, so it started on that. So I started working for them in 2009, doing some part-time work, writing some basic policies for them. Yeah, using my skill as a lawyer, using my understanding of the business community, what the expectations are, using my skill on how to analyze the stocks, value companies, and understand some basic economics. Started writing all these papers, and then they sent me to work for Datuk Zahid Ibrahim. Datuk Zahid Ibrahim is a nice fellow, yeah? But at times, politicians need that big thing that keeps driving them, and that big thing is that big ego that they have. So Datuk Zahid went and fought for us, and lost Ulu Selangor, and he was heartbroken, understandably. I was his I was his personal assistant. And as a result of him losing that election, I was asked to move on to another leader to help. And that's at that point I realized that the party wanted me to stay despite Zaid going. So I said, okay, I'll do that. And they sent me to help Datuk Sri Wan Azizah, Datuk Sri Anwar's wife. And I worked with her for 4 months, and I can tell you this, it's been a real privilege to work for her. Now she is one of these really, really special women. Yeah? She's humble, she's actually quite funny. She told me in private that if she didn't have become a doctor, she might even pursue something of a comedian role, I think, or get involved in play. She looks very serious, I know, but she's really a gentle person. And what really impressed me about her was she told me this story about how, as you all may know, she's a medical doctor and she's an eye specialist. And what happened was when Anwar first became a minister, and this was in the early 80s, she decided to continue serving as a medical practitioner, as a doctor in the government hospital. And she continued all the way until Anwar became Deputy Prime Minister, in which case she had no choice but to resign. Now this is what we want. These are the type of leaders that we really respect and we really want. Someone that doesn't think about, since I'm the minister's wife, I should go and buy some bags. Right? I'm a minister's wife, so maybe I should be a tie, go buy some rings. Okay? Now this is the leaders that we have, and that is why I'm still with the party today. And that is why I'm really attached to this struggle that we have. And the party wants me, because they don't have to pay me any legal fees, so they just retain me. And then they moved, after 4 months with Datuk Sri Wan Azizah, I was moved into the Datuk Sri Anwar's so-called group of advisors. And that was where I met another special person. And that special person is Rafizi Ramli. Rafizi Ramli, I remember giving him my very first call. I called him and talked about the GST issue, because Rafizi was quite pro-GST at the moment. And my wife is here tonight, I think. She was a bit stuck. That's my wife at the back. My wife is a political economist. She's really smart, and she's an expert in this kind of things. So she came in and started to help us on this GST issue, and that's how I met Rafizi. We discussed the GST issue, and then we clicked. And we started working on economic policies across the board. Sometimes you do something, I'll do another thing, and then we combine and join back together. We worked on the first budget with DAP, working very closely with Chi Chang and also Tony Pua and also Chin Tong. And then and also Dr. Zul and Dato' Usam, good people from past. Yeah? And that is my journey so far. Until the day, a couple of months ago, actually, I won't lie to you that this is a surprise that I've been chosen to come to Kelana Jaya. A couple of months ago, I was invited by Dato' Sri to go and see him. And we sat down and talked. Okay, so he said, Wong Chen, what do you want? I said, I'm not interested in politics, I'm not a good speaker. I'm a technocrat behind the scenes type of guy. So I said, give me a senatorship lah. My father wants one of us from the family to be, a bit more special. So give me a senatorship so that I can make my father proud. Yeah. So I said, okay, we can consider that. Then he said, no lah, we're gonna send you to Kelana Jaya. So the first thing was I went to talk to my wife and say, ayo, please lah. But I have no regrets. You know why? I've been walking up and down Kelana Jaya and also Sri Satya for the last few days. Okay? And let me be absolutely sincere when I talk to you about things tonight. I'm not going to give you a stump speech. I'm not very good at that. I'll just talk from my heart. We walk up and down the streets and people started to say hi to me. And that's really strange. Yeah? And then I get off from the car and someone says, hey, hi Wong Chen, how are you? I don't know what's happening. It's a bit strange. I'm living in a surreal world. So I thought, wow, feeling good lah. Second day, feeling better. After my first speech, wow, more popularity. Suddenly all videos come out already. Then Twitter, I've never tweeted in my life, except for the last 3 months, and people are laughing at me. You had 4 tweets in 2 months. Then Facebook, stuff like that. It was just bizarre. Then today I went to walk. Now this is special. Today I went to a walk, and I went with Hannah Yo, And I have to tell you one thing about Hannah Yeoh. She's super fantastic. You know, she's awesome. You can't find a better don than Hannah Yeoh, right? She's been carrying me through the whole process, and you know, without her and her team, you know, I'll be lost, completely lost. So you know, I'm walking Hannah Yeoh, and people going, hi, you know, I'm Wong Chen, okay. Then we get to this bunch of students at the site, and you know, I was feeling good. I say, hey, I'm Wong Chen. Yeah, how are you, little kids? They're like these 8, 9-year-old kids, right? And then you know what the little boy told me? Hey, where's Hannah Yeoh? Who are you? Where's Hannah Yeoh? And then I turned around. There was like 9 or 10 of these kids jumping up there going, Hannah, Hannah, Hannah. So you know, people of Subang Jaya, yeah. I'm happy that I've been asked to be a candidate here. I'm also very humble, and I love the fact that you give me a good, warm reception tonight, and also when I do my walkabouts. And I hope, you know, I really hope that you will help us to work towards a better nation, move towards Putrajaya, taking over Putrajaya, make sure Hannah comes back to here and continue to serve you. Yeah? Okay? And I'd just like to say that, come to my dialogues. I'm better there lah. You know, I'm not very good at this stump speech thing. If I ask you to say reformasi 3 times, probably you won't. So I'm not going to make a fool of myself. But I'm going to try. Just for tonight. Yeah? I'm just going to try. So if you're my fan, if you think I look like Harry Potter or John Lennon, so you don't mind if you all can stand up a bit, the one sitting in front, can you do that? Can you stand up? And when I say reformasi, you say reformasi lah. That's the standard cue. Not very difficult. So are you ready? Yes! Are you ready for better Malaysia? Yes! Are you ready to get rid of the cronies from Putrajaya? Yes! Let's go! Reformasi! 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 Thank you very much. I'll see you on the right. Thank you.